This is going to be my third video, my third YouTube video, slurp slurp. It's been interesting. And the thing I want to talk about today, when I was doing my research about starting my own YouTube channel, and it's kind of been in the back of my mind. And I had a YouTube channel way before, probably like 15 years ago, and I did it with a friend, and we were, trying to do the formula and trying to make 3 videos a day, and no one was really watching, and the algorithm was a lot different. Then I got burnt out, and I was upset and angry with him for whatever reason, because we had different work ethics. But I don't think I was ready for it yet. And again, I was ruminating and thinking, okay, well, I gotta partner up with someone. I gotta just do that. And because I can't, I'm fixing my hat. I can't possibly do this myself. I didn't believe in myself enough to kind of do it. But the industry's changing, and I think I've had all the skills all the time and wanted to do it, but the industry's changing, and I've always worked as an actor. But for whatever reasons, I was supporting a friend who's sick, and a bunch of my friends got sick, actually, not just one. It kind of made me shift and think about priorities in my life. And I did work, and just thinking about it now, I didn't have a lot of agency, and thought that I always had to fit into somebody else's vision and fit into somebody else's idea, rather than, when I audition or create roles, it's a collaboration. I put part of myself within somebody else's framework. But again, and I don't mind collaborating. I'm totally a team player. Sometimes I think my issue is that I'm an over team player. We'll call that codependency. And working on that, and even in therapy recently, I do EMDR, and for me, the visual stuff works. And the image I was getting was like the spotlight, and I realized that I would always put other people in the spotlight, which isn't bad by any means, but I would not put myself in the spotlight. And so there was some sort of dissonance, something wasn't clicking, and then I realized, how come I never put myself in the spotlight? For many reasons. Oh, that's really egotistical. You're going to be full of yourself. I kind of grew up with those patterns, but sometimes it's okay to be front and center. I hear a garbage truck coming, so I might have to cut and come back in if the. You know what? I'm gonna let it happen. This is why I have a microphone. So hopefully, we'll see that the sound doesn't screw things up too much. But we're supposed to be as authentic as we possibly can here, and be as real as we possibly can. So this is what I'm doing. I'm not trying to come from a place in some of my videos of high production, where it's slick and cut and edited. These sort of chats, I will do those things, but I think I'm trying to experiment with these sort of chats where I just sit and talk about my thoughts in the morning. You know how you wake up with a partner or a friend or a family member, and you're getting up, and it's in the morning, and you're just talking about stuff and talking about what's on your mind. That's part of the reason why I want to do this and do this format. This won't always be the format. I'll do vlogs, I'll do reviews, But I also want to do these morning chats where you have these kind of heart to heart conversations and dialogues with your friends. And if you're watching this, I want it to feel like that we're having these heart to heart dialogues on my YouTube channel with your friends. And, sometimes it'll be at home, sometimes we'll have it, at a coffee shop, maybe when I'm traveling, maybe when I'm on set. I want to be consistent where I'm here as a friend, because that's what I do with my real life friends, like physical friends, not the digital ones, where we just talks, and there's just so amazingly wonderfully healing. So anyway, back to my point about just doing it. The research that I was doing is just get started. Just if you want to do a YouTube channel, and I was talking about this with my friend because I started doing TikTok and I realized, and I had my issues around it. Like I had my own, what's the word? Making excuses and having blocks about it. I'm too old, and it's that, and I listened to the stigma. It's those dances and Kababa in LA. But it's not. It's more now this place where people can connect. It can be a lot of educational stuff. Like I learned a lot of stuff from all of the social media. And again, I looked, there was also, I believed in a lot of the negativity about it. And there is some negative stuff about social media. Do not get me wrong. It's like, some of it is pretty dark and awful and dank. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. Social media, I got to get off of it. It's just, but then you can either do that, which more respect to you. But if you don't want to do it, then I was like, because I'm a Buddhist, and my spiritual mentor said, well, with all of this darkness in the world, why don't you be the light? Be the one that lights the candle for somebody else. And then that person lights the candle, and then another person lights the candle. It's deceptively simple because our fears and our egos and people are my insecurities, my self-doubts, like what are people gonna think? What if somebody says something bad about me? What if they don't like me? This is also that part of the exercise is like, well, not everyone's gonna like you, and not everyone's going to be your best friend. And I always try to do that. And sometimes it does burn me out. And not that I don't ever want to be that way or that I'm going to be a jerk or unkind to people. But I think, I want to be, again, that light for a person. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, so my point being is that why don't you be the light amongst all of this darkness, and then that light spreads and that light spreads and that light spreads, and supposedly that concept will be the thing that leads to world peace. Like recently the World Cup. I mean, certain teams, whoa, that's bad behavior, but generally speaking, overall, there's a benefit. Like I was watching all of these people on Saturday. I went to the Santa Monica block party with some friends, and there was all these people together. Like, yeah, they had opposites. They were like voting for opposite teams, but this whole World Cup thing, it wasn't perfect, but because the news wants to put that, but there was also a lot of really great things that I saw. Like, I think, was it the Brazilian comforting the Japanese members, the Japanese players, and just community. And there's so much right now in America. It can get really dark, but like all of these fans and their love for one thing, this unity, felt peaceful, and there was a different sort of energy going on. So that's one of my thoughts, and that I think I'm glad I'm doing this. I think you just got to try, and you got to do it. And some of you may just turn off and say, this is not my thing. But if you're still here and you're still listening, just go out and try and do it. I don't regret doing it when I'm doing it now, because I think I wouldn't have been able to enjoy it sooner than this. I think I had to go through a lot of my own inner transformation to be able to do this. I'm still a little scared. My self-doubt's kind of running around saying, oh, what are you doing? Like, people are going to criticize you. People are going to, not care, and you're going to get like 2 views. But so what? If it's 2 views, it's 2 views. A friend of mine that I was encouraging her to get started on YouTube, because I was telling her about my TikTok, one of my early TikToks, and I'm still building, but I did a 15-second thing on the way to a Buddhist meeting, talking about and reminding people. It was just a daily reminder. Sometimes I do that on my TikTok, that you choose your happiness. You're the one that's in charge of your happiness, and nobody else can do that. And I think it was my 5th or 6th TikTok, and it got like 900 views with so many likes. And I was like, wow, this is the positive part of social media. Like, again, you can either be the negative part of social media, or you can be the positive part of social media. So be the positive part of social media. And, all this negative stuff, people exploit that, our insecurity, so they can make money. I'm here to just do my best to share, be as positive as I can. And it's not like, a Pollyanna sort of thing. I probably will share what I'm comfortable with in terms of some of the negative stuff. Sometimes I'll have bad days, for sure. I just wanted these chats to be real. When, so when my friends ask me, how are you? I'll be able to, sometimes, now I'm getting better, kind of going, no, I'm struggling. Or I'm so frustrated. Like, I got so close to this audition. I keep getting called back, and then nothing, which is like part of the actor's thing. Like, and I should know this, because I was, of course, as some of you may or may not know, I was a casting associate for a few years, and some of the people that just nailed it didn't get the part for so many reasons. It was like a height thing, or a coloration of a blonde, brown-haired thing, or the director, there just wasn't a chemistry. So that's why I'm doing this. I want people to just not give up. I want people to try. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then you know better. And yesterday I was doing a live, and I'm trying to teach more, coach more digitally, and I spent all this time setting things up, and nothing was really working, and I'm still building an online digital thing, because I want to be able to, because now that we're in a self-tape mode, people are doing a lot of self-tapes, and we're doing a lot of stuff digitally. We're not auditioning in the room as much. I want to start working digitally also, so I can, during the quiet times, coach people online and travel if I want to. I want to do that a little bit more, and see the world, and see what other things it has to offer. Like, I went to Europe last year for my 55th birthday. I might do some carousels. I didn't post a lot of those photos, because I just felt like I needed that sacredness, that time to myself. But it's been over a year now, and I want to share that experience, but I still, even just recently, I still didn't want to share them publicly because I just wanted to keep that sacredness. It was meant to be for my 50th birthday, but then we had the pandemic. So I said, no matter what, 55, I'm going to go to Europe or sabbatical. And it changed me. Again, this whole thing, I'm like, what was I thinking? I like, my own negative going, oh, you can't afford it. It's, what Filipino people go there, like just crazy noise that prevents us from like experiencing this. But luckily I have such really great chosen family, and I love them so much that I was encouraged to go, and it changed me. I don't say better. It's different. When I went to Asia, when I went to the Philippines and started really seeing my cultural roots, went to my ancestral home, the town I was born in. Yes, I felt really complete. It was kind of like filling holes that were missing. But going to Europe was more of a forward momentum and more of a possibility, which is weird because it's kind of old time. But also, I did a stop off in Turkey, and it was such a short time there. I'm like, oh, I need to go back. So I want to go back to the trying. Like I want to keep trying now. Like I'm 56 and I don't want to stop trying to do things. I'm on this other half now, and it's scary. Like, because of my old ways of like trying to do things, it was starting to limit me. And if you've ever felt stuck, but now as I'm doing this whole process of TikTok, social media, Instagram, all this sort of stuff, I'm learning that like I was doing my old ways and that wasn't working anymore, and going this way and realizing I have the skills. I've been editing stuff, because I was doing self-tapes, but I know this technology. I pick it up so quickly. So again, what was I thinking? What was I thinking about Europe? What was I thinking of not trying to do, set up some social media because I'm too old and this is for the kids? But I'm starting to see on what I'm doing, what I'm posting, the reviews, and I'm mostly, what people are connecting with are the queer film and TV shows that I love, or the TV shows I love coming from a queer perspective, because these days it's getting less and less. And again, I'm trying to be that light and trying to create that voice, because in certain instances we're starting to get erased, and trying to encourage people that we're not going back. We're kind of, I use this analogy all the time, and other friends of mine, like, we're spiraling upwards. It kind of seems like it's the same, but if you look at the nuances, no, it's elevating. Like, it may look like we're in the same place, but we're elevating. And so now trying these skills that I have into this new format, like, there's this crazy combination. And again, if you see my early stuff, I'm like, and I don't want to erase it just because it's a document of an evolution of my work in social media. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how this being my third video, my first talk to kind of morning coffee chat video, how those dialogues and conversations will evolve. I think that's it for today. I think that's the thoughts I have for today. And if you're still around, thank you so much for hanging around and sharing. And again, you may have this playing around in the background, but hopefully my thoughts as I go through them with you, something clicks, something resonates. And I'll be around again. Comment and let me know your thoughts. Comment and let me know what suggestions you think I should, like, what you want to hear, what to talk about, what we want to discuss. I want to say we because I want it to be this discussion and this dialogue. But for now, have a great rest of your day, and we shall see you soon. Bye.